adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring the Jet-A Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Last time, you remember, our heroes started out west to see the ranch they had just bought for $28. When they arrived in Squaw's Ankle, Wyoming, everyone seemed very friendly until...
Where'd you say you fellas were going to live?
On our ranch.
Well, ain't that just James Dandy? What's the name of it?
The Lazy J.
Sure got lonesome all of a sudden, didn't it?
Nobody left but us and one stray dog.
Just because we said Lazy J.
How come he didn't leave the first time?
Must be hard to hear him.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to leave too, whilst we are able.
Oh, Bullwinkle, you're not going to let them scare you away, are you?
I was toying with the idea, yes.
Well, come on.
And so undaunted,
Well, only slightly daunted.
our friends set out for the Lazy J Ranch.
Where does the ad say the ranch is?
Just outside of town.
Bound to be around here somewhere.
How right you are, as usual. Looky there.
Lazy J Ranch. Entrance.
Wild West, here we are.
Look out, Bullwinkle! Are you all right?
Think so, but my nerves must be going bad.
How come?
I feel like I'm on pins and needles.
Well, you are. That's a cactus. You see, you fell on a cactus. when you-
Okay. I get the point.
And in a few minutes, our boys were picking their way down a steep, steep hill. Suddenly, without warning...
Duck, Bullwinkle!
If I was any lower, I'd be looking up to see down.
Somebody's shooting at us from that little house on the mesa.
Uh-oh, we better go back to our place and get some help.
We can't. This is our place.
You're right, let's not go there. Boy, that was close.
Close? Bullwinkle, that cactus is clear on the other side of the valley.
That's close enough.
I'm going to see who it is that's such a terrible shot.
Okay, but don't help him any,
And the plucky squirrel zoomed right toward the house and into a window. He pulled to a halt as a voice said...
Hold it, fella. I know you're there.
Well, how do you know I'm here?
I hear you breathing. Now, mosey on out of here, you hear?
Yeah, but I'm the new owner of the Lazy J.
In that case, mosey on in.
And our Rocky entered the bedroom of the small shack. In the bed was a huddled figure.
Gee, who are you?
I'm the old owner of the Lazy J.
Yeah, what's your name?
What else? I'm Lazy J himself.
Was that you shooting at us?
That's right. Thought y'all was rustlers.
But we're over this way. You're shooting in the opposite direction.
Uh-huh. But if I was facing that way, I'd sure give you what for.
Well, why don't you?
Frankly, I'm too lazy.
But in a little while, our heroes had propped Lazy J up to a standing position, and he began to show them the points of interest of the ranch.
Over there is Dead Man's Swamp. That-a-way you'll run into Grizzly Gulch, and over yonder is the Burning Badlands.
Isn't there any good land on the ranch, Lazy J?
Oh, sure, the South 40's got some of the best land in these here parts.
And it did, too. There was only one problem. The South 40 ran straight up and down.
Our cows must be mountain climbers.
Cows? What cows?
Mo cows.
Nary a hoof hiding her hair.
Well, what do you raise on this ranch anyway?
I'd better whisper it to you.
And as Lazy J whispered just one word into Bullwinkle's ear, the mighty moose's hair turned completely white all over. Be sure to see our next colorful episode.
Except for me.
Rocky Rides Again or Small in the Saddle.
Once upon a time, there was a witch named Griselka who chalked up a very enviable record when it came to witchery.
I hereby cast a spell upon you, and henceforth you shall be known as Sleeping Beauty. I hereby cast a spell upon you, and forevermore you shall remain a frog.
Naturally, when it came time to give out the award for the best witch of the year...
I shall treasure this gold-plated skull the rest of my unnatural life.
Well, sir, Griselka's stock soared sky high after that, and every night was Halloween as far as she was concerned.
Grizz, you're due to fly to London tonight to touch off the year of the plague.
We'll cancel that until Monday. I have to lock a damsel named Rapunzel in a tower. Undance!
This went on for months, and Griselka was just about the most popular witch of all time. That's when it happened. There she was, concocting a vile brew in a cauldron, when suddenly the door opened, and there stood the most handsome prince in the world.
Ah, fair lady. Could I trouble you for a flagon of water?
That was tantamount to committing hara-kiri.
Instead of water, try a sip of this.
Here's looking at you, sweet damsel. Cheers.
Ah, but witches, too, have hearts. And it was there that Griselka was struck by Cupid's timely arrow.
Don't drink that!
The liquid burned a hole 3 feet deep.
I say, that must be carbonated.
You know, I must have that prince.
But Griselka was so ugly that she could look in a mirror and crack it.
But it's a poisoned apple you're supposed to send to Snow White.
You sure it isn't a poisoned watermelon?
Look, Grizz, yesterday you changed a bat into a bunny rabbit. You better go see a doctor. There's no doubt of it, madam. You have an acute case of amoritis.
Is that anything like the 3-year itch?
Madam, you are in love. L-U-F, love.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, and don't you dare crack on me. How can I win the prince's love?
You must cast a spell on yourself. And now I must go before I crack up.
Of course, the mirror is right. If I change myself into a beautiful princess, the prince will fall in love with me.
This was the biggest job she ever faced. For 2 weeks, she boiled wolfbane, mice wings, and gruffy powder in the old, reliable cauldron. And finally...
Through the mouth and through the gums. Look out, stomach! Here it comes!
The age-old incantation never failed. Where once there was a witch, stood an enchanting princess.
Well, my son, how are you enjoying the ball?
I'm having a ball, Dad.
I know that, but how are you enjoying it?
But before the prince could answer, his eyes spied what to him was the most beautiful maiden he had ever seen.
You're beautiful, you're lovely, you're engaged to me.
A whirlwind courtship ensued, during which the prince and his inamorata was seen everywhere. Ah, but they were not alone.
I say, sweetheart, have you noticed that broom that seems to follow us wherever we go?
Broom?
There was no mistaking it. This was the very same broom Griselka had ridden on her nightly forays.
Quick, dearest, lock the broom in the cellar.
Even though the request was a strange one, the prince complied. But that night, at the opera...
Now, don't look now, but isn't that the same broom sitting next to you?
Oh, quick, my love, take me home.
Alas, there was no running away from her past. No matter where the princess went, the broom was sure to go.
So, you used to be Griselka the witch, eh?
Oh, yes, Doctor.
Amazing. We wondered where you'd got to. Now, tell me your problem.
And the princess unfolded the bizarre happenings of the past week.
Well, this is all psychological, my dear. You see, that broom...
This broom.
Oh, yes. Anyway, that broom has a dust complex. You see, it's lonely. It misses its former owner. It undoubtedly still thinks that you are a witch.
Well, what can I do, Doctor? What can I do?
Next time, take the train.
The desperate princess returned to the hut where she had once lived as a witch, followed closely by the broom.
Oh, if there was only someone to help me.
There is.
Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, reflecting all this gloom. How in the world does one get rid of an old but faithful broom?
The answer is simple. Get a gride.
Now, in those days, dustpans weren't called dustpans, they were called grides. And so it was that the princess immediately purchased a small but attractive gride and set it beside the lonesome broom in the broom closet. The rest happened naturally.
And do you, prince, take this princess for your wife?
I do.
Yes, it turned out to be a double wedding ceremony. Not only was there a bride and a groom, but there was also a gride and a broom.
And now, here's that man with helpful hints for everyone in the land, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello there, hinterlanders everywhere. Today we take up the problem of how to become a successful member of the U.S. Peace Corps. When you are sent into primitive country to help your fellow man, the first important thing is to find a fellow man. Then show them that your country has a new approach. The people back home really care. Offer them beads and trinkets. Primitive peoples like this appreciate that kind of thing.
Fake, 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 keep, fake, fake.
If, however, you find their state of industrial or scientific development farther along than you had supposed, the Peace Corps workers should offer assistance by showing the foreign friend how to repair or improve whatever devices they have. Kindly, brother, I have fixed your machine, so it is quieter now. Courtesy, U.S. Peace Corps! The next most important thing is to work along with them. That nothing too difficult for them is too difficult for you. And there you have it. The end product inspired by cooperation, friendship, and brotherhood.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, it looks to me like you've just inspired this friendly friend from another land to build a rocket ship.
Yeah, happens every time.
Is it for defense?
No.
Space travel?
No.
Then what?
It's their way of getting me out of the country faster.
Hello there, Peabody here.
And I'm Sherman, huh, Mr. Peabody?
Yes, you are Sherman. Now, if you'll take your place beside the Wayback Machine, we shall be on our way.
Where to today?
Today, we're traveling back in time to the year 1455 and the place Strasbourg, Germany, where we shall meet the inventor of the first practical printing press, Johannes Gutenberg.
All set, Mr. Peabody.
Sherman and I entered the Wayback, and in less time than it takes to twitch an eye, we were transported back and into the small printing shop of Herr Gutenberg, where we found the great man hard at work with his new press.
Hi, Mr. Gutenberg. I'm Sherman, and this is...
Don't bother me, kid. I got a newspaper to get out here, and I can't waste any time if I expect to make the 5 o'clock edition.
Gutenberg continued his work at a feverish pitch. However, when he finally finished...
Good, at last I'm done.
Mr. Peabody, do you see what I see?
I'm afraid so, Sherman. It seems as though Johannes Gutenberg has made a slight mistake.
Mistake? What mistake? Where?
You have printed the 5-star final on pants instead of paper.
That's no mistake. It was a calculated decision on purpose because I couldn't find paper.
But it will never do to have the news printed on a pair of trousers.
Why not? See, back here I have printed all of the latest word about the county seat. And down here I put the advertisements because day is on the cuff anyway.
All well and good, but Sherman is right. A newspaper should be printed on paper.
I already told you I can't find any paper, and there's no time to look for some, because if I don't meet the 5 o'clock deadline, the bank is going to foreclose on the mortgage.
It's 3 o'clock now. That doesn't give us much time, but I think we can make it if we hurry. Come, Sherman, we will get some paper. Sherman and I dashed out of the print shop and into a butcher shop, which, fortunately, was right next door. 6 pounds of weenies, please.
Weenies? But I thought we were after paper.
What does the butcher usually wrap weenies in, Sherman?
Butcher paper?
Yes, but nonetheless it is paper. Paying for the weenies, we quickly took the package and hurried back to Herr Gutenberg.
Oh, that's good. This is just what I've been waiting for.
He had been gone for quite some time when suddenly I noticed something very peculiar. Do you hear something, Sherman?
Not a thing, Mr. Peabody. Should I?
Yes, we should be hearing the sound of Gutenberg's printing press. Something is wrong, Sherman. Hurrying into the back room, we immediately saw that something was wrong indeed, for there sat Johannes Gutenberg eating weenies.
Herr Gutenberg, what are you doing?
Why, I'm eating the lunch you brought me. What else?
I'm afraid that's your second mistake, my friend. That wasn't your lunch. You were to use that paper for your 5 o'clock edition.
Ooh, I forgot, and it's 4:15 already. Stand back, I got printing to do.
Gutenberg flew into his work like a demon, and in record time he had the job done.
I done it. Now I can go out to a corner and sell my very first newspaper.
It looked very much like success was his, but suddenly...
Egad, what's happening, Mr. Peabody? It sounds like a riot.
It is a riot, Sherman, and Herr Gutenberg is just 2 jumps ahead of it.
What happened, Mr. Gutenberg? Didn't the people like your paper?
Oh, they liked the paper all right, but what they didn't like was there was no printing on it.
It was true. The newspaper he had just printed was completely blank on both sides. For his third mistake of the day, Herr Gutenberg had used the wrong bottle of ink in his press. Invisible ink, that is. 20 minutes to 5, there's still a chance you can make it.
It's no use, I can't do it.
Why not?
I'm all mixed up from my troubles. I can't think of anything to print. Pardon me. Hello? What? Really? Quick, give me the address. Okay, got it. Oh, am I in luck? There's a fire, and that's big news. It gives me just what I need to write about.
Good. We can be reporters and cover the story for you.
Yes, but we must hurry. Get the address, Sherman. Sherman and I raced across town and made excellent time, for the signals were with us. However, when we arrived...
Hey, this can't be right. There's nothing here but a lake.
Let me see that slip of paper. Just as I suspected, Sherman. You had the paper upside down. You brought us to 666 instead of 999 Schnitzel Street.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Peabody. Just where is 999 Schnitzel Street?
I'm afraid that's the address of Gutenberg's printing shop.
Oh, the fire really wiped me out this time. The only thing I saved was the clock and the press.
And it's 5 minutes to 5. I guess there's nothing else you can do, Mr. Peabody.
There is always something I can do, Sherman. Gutenberg's 5 o'clock edition will hit the street right on schedule. Give me a hand.
Gosh, you did it, Mr. Peabody, without a minute to spare.
Yes, and that is the first true printing of Johannes Gutenberg.
Extra, extra! Read all about me. On me. Extra!
But tell me, Mr. Peabody, why did you print such big letters on his forehead?
That, Sherman, should be quite obvious. Every newspaper has to have a headline.
When Rocky and Bullwinkle arrived at their new ranch, the Lazy J, they found that it wasn't the choicest piece of real estate in the world. As a matter of fact, the only good piece of land on it ran straight up and down.
Must have some mighty acrobatic cows on this ranch.
Acrobatic?
Or maybe they got suction cups on their hoofs.
You plumb loco?
No, I'm plumb Bullwinkle.
There's no cows on this ranch.
No cows?
Well, it's not so bad being a sheep herder, Rock. Sometimes they're the good guys, too.
No sheep neither.
Hogs, maybe?
Nope.
Muskrats?
Nope.
Horses?
Nope.
Chinchillas?
Nope.
Mink?
Nope.
Platypuses?
Nope. Hold it. I'm plumb tuckered out waggling my head back and forth.
Well, what do you raise on this ranch?
I better whisper.
What?
Bullwinkle! Gee, he fainted. What did you say to him?
I better whisper.
What?
Good heavens, both of our heroes have fainted. Well, what did you say to them?
Just told them what we raise on this ranch.
Well, what is it?
I better whisper. Worms.
Worms?
Well, I bet dog. He fainted, too.
Did I hear you right? This is a worm ranch?
A worm ranch?
A worm ranch?
Say, if you fellas would get together, you'd make a fine trio.
A worm ranch.
See? I told you.
Yes, it turned out to be all too true. The boys had traveled 1,000 miles and spent $28 of their hard-earned money to buy a worm ranch.
Yep, it's the biggest herd in these here parts.
But where is it?
Where else? Underground.
Sure enough, the boys had taken on the job of herding a bunch of critters they couldn't even see. But for the next few weeks, they were too busy to worry about it. First, there was the big spring roundup.
What's this contraption got to do with the roundup?
Only way we know where the little rascals are.
What do I do?
You jump up and down on this pogo stick. Sort of drive 'em ahead of you. Good luck.
And so our friends started out to round up their herd.
Whoopee! Hi-yi-yo, get along, little doggy.
Bullwinkle, we aren't rounding up doggies.
I know, but I just can't bring myself to sing Get Along, Little Worm. And, uh-oh,
What is
a
it?
stray is cutting loose from the herd.
After him, Bullwinkle.
Get back in there. No, the other way. And, uh-oh, I lost him. Oh, that does it. No early worm can give me the bird.
Uh-oh, now you've done it.
What I done it?
Well, it certainly looked that way, for the ground began to tremble as if there were an earthquake.
Jumping G-horse fat! Must be millions of them!
Stampede!
Underground stampede! What do we do now?
In the movies, they always try to head off the leaders.
How can you head them when you don't know which way they're going?
I don't know, but we gotta try. Keep pounding on the ground.
And our heroes bravely tried to turn the leaders.
Come on, turn. Get him turned around, Bullwinkle.
I sure would if I could see them.
But eventually the trembling stopped.
Except for my knees.
And our boys knew the herd had quieted down. But their troubles weren't over, not by a long shot. For watching our boys from a nearby hill was a sinister figure, wearing, of all things, a cowboy hat and kilts. Who can this mysterious stranger be? We'll find out next time in The Last Angry Angus or Hot Scotch.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?